Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fundamental Analysis webinar this evening. My name is Troy. I'm a Senior Account Manager with AvaTrade. Welcome to those who are new to AvaTrade, if you're a beginner. Also to my veterans, my regulars that are coming back. There's a lot of nice stuff to look at today, fundamentally and on the charts as well. So we've got a lot to look at. Hello, Philip, Natalia, Amir. Good to see you attending. Just give me a quick okay if everyone's hearing me clearly and seeing my screen all right. Just a quick systems check. All right, great. I've got enough responses. Thank you. Looks like we're up and running fine. If anyone runs into any trouble, just let me know. Sometimes there can be an audio issue here or there, but usually it's on the client side if there's a problem. Welcome, Gene from Montreal. Good to have you. Anyone joining us from some of our various regulatory areas, if you're in the Canadian region, you might see some differences in leverages or some of the asset selection, but in general, it's still good to see the strategies. Most of the assets we cover are available in all of the regions, and the concepts we cover, especially the fundamental stuff, as well as the technical, it applies for everybody, no matter where in the world you are. I see we have some friends from Russia joining us as well. So welcome to everybody. As we get going, keep in mind, all investments have risk. The same is true when it comes to FX trading, spread betting, options, etc. Any one trade has its level of risk. It is not guaranteed to profit. I think we all understand that. That's why we make use of things like stop losses, hedge trades maybe, and we have a special feature called AvaProtect, which we'll look at a little bit closer in a bit, that through our web trader platform and AvaTrade Go can help to manage risk as well. So it's a unique feature only offered by AvaTrade, only on our professionally built platforms that AvaTrade has put together, that offers some things beyond the MT4, MT5 platform. So it's available to you to use for your risk management and other purposes as well on our custom platforms. So obviously there's risk. There are ways to manage it. Also, just as obvious, there are nice potential profits with each and every trade that you attempt. So that's why we're all here, is to go after these potential profits. And those of you that are new to things, we go through things from an educational perspective. This is not meant to be financial advisement. We don't expect you to be an expert starting out either. So from an educational perspective, whether you're a veteran or new to things, I think you'll pick up some things that are useful in the webinars. And so we are basic enough for newbies that are just getting going to keep up with things just fine, but also informative enough. I think my veterans that have come repeatedly would attest to that there are some things that everyone can learn as we go along. And I would ask, as we go along, please share your ideas as well, because sometimes I don't cover everything that's happening in the market, and you might have something to point out. And many times it helps others learn in the webinars as well if you share your ideas, your input, and certainly feel free to ask questions at any point through the session. Now, real quick, what is fundamental news? What is fundamental analysis? There are two main types. We'll look at both. Regular economic events, that's a type of fundamental analysis when we're looking at economic schedules, where we know exactly what's being announced, when it will be announced. That type of fundamental news is much easier to predict in terms of scope and timing. So, you know, we know exactly when certain companies release their earnings numbers, or we know exactly when a certain country is announcing jobs numbers or factory production numbers, etc. Those types of regular economic events can be planned for time-wise and asset-wise as well, a little more specifically. The other type of fundamental news, and we'll look at the other type as well today, the extraordinary economic events. Those are fundamental news stories that you maybe can't predict when they'll be or what they'll be about, but you still can plan for them in your trading strategy. And we'll go over ideas on how to do that today. Examples of extraordinary economic events or extraordinary fundamental news would be any breaking story about the global pandemic, about trade negotiations between US and China. In the past, Natalia, you're right, it was Brexit. It seemed every day there was a breaking headline that you just couldn't predict what the next headline would be. And so the fact is, what we can count on is that there likely will be almost every day some type of breaking headline that you weren't sure what it would be, but still it happens. And certainly every week that happens. And so by using pending orders many times, you can be prepared for these announcements or headlines that you just don't know what they'll be. But when they happen, your pending orders can be ready to get in with those breakthrough moves many times that occur where support or resistance levels get broken because of these unexpected headlines. Okay. And given that it's, election season in the US, we've got a pandemic with vaccines so close to being ready, maybe. We've got lots of potential for breaking headlines that could really move the markets, big time move the markets. So that's what trading is about, is potential. And those extraordinary economic events, boy, do they bring potential. And we saw it yesterday with the market dropping a huge amount just on worries about whether the stimulus package would be passed or not, worries about larger outbreaks of virus in the European nations especially, and also in the US, that really moved the market down in a hurry. And just simple pending orders, we'll look here eventually how simple pending orders could have paid off, okay? So as we move forward, let's first look. I mentioned a couple things. One was AvaTrade Go, our custom-made mobile app. If you go to our trading platforms, you go to AvaTrade Go, all right? And those of you in Canada, I don't know if AvaTrade Go is exactly ready yet. It will be soon, if not. I think it is live in Canada now. If not, it will be soon. And so what we're looking at here is an app that makes trading easier, that makes managing your risk management a bit easier. And for those of you who are joining us who are new to trading, maybe you don't even have a live account with us yet. I know there are a number of you that attend that don't have accounts yet. One thing you find with AvaTrade is we're constantly improving our technology. And sometimes little glitches here or there as we're coming with the next version of AvaTrade Go or something like that. But listen, we're really accomplishing big things here with our mobile app and the features that work seamlessly over top the MT4 and MT5 accounts now. Our web trader platform that does the same thing. It's amazing what you can do with this app. One thing in particular is AvaProtect. Okay, you don't see that on MT4 and MT5, right? And so what you'll notice is with AvaProtect, with gold, silver, any Forex, FX pairings, you can protect against losses for defined periods of time. You pick the length of time you want the protection. You got your trade size set up. It tells you a small premium cost that you're charged when you open the trade, but now you're protected against any and all losses during that covered time period. And so The AvaProtect, Catherine, you're probably seeing on your web trader platform, not the MT4 or MT5. Now, so that's one thing you'll see on the web trader as well as the AvaTrade Go app is AvaProtect. Also, what you'll notice is if you program your take profit or your stop loss, it tells you in your account currency calculated for you like a trade calculator. As you're setting up your trade before you ever buy or sell, you put the stop loss price, it'll tell you how much you're risking, calculated to your account currency based on the trade size you picked and your stop loss price. It also calculates your potential profit to your take profit price. So it does those things for you. So you're fully informed with your risk management, especially if you're new to trading. And even if you're a veteran, who wants to have to manually calculate everything? So you don't have to know, hey, if I have 150 ounces of gold in my position and I put my stop loss $12 away, how much am I risking? Well, the app will tell you, right? And then you can play around with the trade size until you get the amount of exposure to your stop loss that you wanted. Okay, very simple to use. And you'll also notice when you put the trade size, it tells you right underneath how much margin will be used, right below the trade size. So very, very nice features on that. And if you log in from the main website, then you're here. You're on the web trader platform, which has all of those same features as the AvaTrade Go app. So what we're looking at is if I open a trade on a currency pairing, right? Let's say I'm selling or buying USD Canadian. I see AvaProtect. You see the shield. That gold shield means AvaProtect is available. And it's only on live accounts that you have this AvaProtect. So those of you who don't have live accounts yet, you're not getting the full picture of everything on the demo, AvaProtect in particular. So you may think about at least getting a live account going as you make your decision to be with us long term or not. And those of you who have been with us a while, you've probably used AvaProtect a bit. Maybe you don't know everything about it, but when I pick the duration, it tells me small price, a position size of 10,000 in value, only $6 and change for 1 hour of protection. 3 hours, $9 coverage, or 3 hours coverage, a little over $9 premium cost. And then you can see 6 hours, 12 hours, 1 day, 2 days, etc. Okay, so 2 days protection for only $23. I could make it. The potential for profit could be a lot more, and my risk is capped for those 2 days. If the trade if those 2 days end and the trade closes, I don't care if it's 500 in negative. The protection pays it, and then the trade can keep running. So it's a very nice feature for risk management. I think it's great on assets that you think might have a lot of volatility and you want to protect yourself on the downside for defined periods of time. Very nice tool. Take profit, you see, tells me my risk, possible profit for the take profit, and it'll tell me my risk on the stop loss, possible loss. As I adjust my stop loss price or take profit price, it tells me in my account currency, my risk, my potential profit. So it's very nice. Ashley, please check with your account manager and see what all features are available for you there in Canada. The AvaProtect might not be available. It's different regulatory rules around the world, and we're just making sure we're in line with everybody. But I think it may be available soon if it's not yet. But the web trader, I would say, is available. The AvaProtect might not yet be available, but I anticipate that it probably will be in every area that we're regulated. Okay, so very nice tools in the setup of your trade for risk management, understanding exactly your risk to your stop loss, to your potential profit, to your take profit mark, how much margin is going to be used for your trade size. Everything's here for you. Now, some other nice features, since we're talking about fundamental analysis, right? So, and by the way, you can expand this chart, make it smaller, okay? You can see your favorites list, bigger or smaller. You can add things to your favorites list anytime. I could go to the most rising. I can say, oh, in the most rising, Bitcoin JPY, I like the looks of that. You click on the star. Now, if I look in my favorites, there it is in my favorites list now because I started. If I don't want it in my favorites anymore, I unstar it. Very simple, intuitive platform. Very nice features. One thing I wanted to show you also, those of you without a live account, you don't have access to all of Trading Central. But once you do have a live account, and those of you who already do, when you're doing your fundamental analysis, look how easy it's made. Economic calendar, click on it. There's your economic calendar with all the major announcements that are coming up. Those that are already occurred, those that didn't occur yet. Okay. Also, when you're in this area and you go to Trading Central, Forex featured ideas, another section. Okay, you click on one, it gives you a trading strategy that was found for the current movement. It'll tell you if there's a breakout strategy, this is talking about an engulfing line, a bullish engulfing line. There's strategies here that you probably have never heard of, even if you're a veteran trader. For beginners, it's also very good. It shows you the technical analysis, and here's the breakthrough. You see the green going up. If it breaks above, it says it's expecting maybe an uptrend. And it gives you the timing of everything, all kinds of patterns and strategies, technical analysis, etc. that was found. Again, this is free on all live accounts. Many of you may not have seen this before. Analyst views. You can get the view of analysts, what's happening. Click on the asset you're interested in. It gives you a breakdown of the chart, what the preferences from the analysts over here, alternative scenarios, etc. Entry points, exit points. It's like your own signal service for free. Okay, all kinds of features here. So Trading Central, that was analyst views. Market Buzz, I really like this one. This is neat. When we look at the Market Buzz, more fundamental news. You know, we're talking about fundamental analysis today. So look at this. If we go to currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, let's click on commodities. The one with the biggest ball is the one with the most buzz. So we look here and we say, okay, what's this? That's crude oil. 666 publications on crude oil going on right now. So we say, okay, let's click on it. Let's see what's happening. So I click on that option and it loads the publications, all the fundamental news that's happening right now. European stocks hit 1 month high on virus fears as they dominate. We go through and we see all kinds of information of what's going on with news stories related to crude oil. And you might say, well, what's the virus have to do with crude oil? Well, doesn't the pandemic affect oil demand, right? As you read through all of those, you've got all kinds of fundamental news. We can look, what's second largest buzz? Gold. You see it's the second largest one. We click on that. Let's see what's going on. All kinds of fundamental news. Gold gains as dollar slips. Coronavirus current concerns persist. Let's say we wanted that story. Okay, great. I click on it and we start to read more details about it. And the story continues. I can click and read more about it. So all kinds of information through Trading Central, which is available through the WebTrader platform. Okay. The Jiri, good question. AvaProtect it's on your account for free, but if you use AvaProtect, there is a premium cost. It gives you a price. So based on the size of the trade and the length of time you want to be covered, the premium cost changes. Okay, and also with the market conditions, the premium cost can change. Okay, but once you set the trade in motion with the protection, that's your cost. The cost won't change after that. Okay, it's a set cost once you open the trade. Very, very nice features for risk management and for new people on this platform, especially with the Trading Central that gives you all kinds of technical analysis help and fundamental news with the market buzz on what's happening right now in the markets, what's buzzing the most. Okay, and so with that said, let's go ahead, let's take a look at the main headlines, okay, which we could find in the WebTrader platform as well. Dow slips on earnings worries, okay, so this is earnings season. You know, quarterly, every 3 months, the companies report the publicly traded companies. Yeah, I agree, Conroy. I think the buzz news is great. publicly traded companies have to report their earnings numbers quarterly. Okay, so this is the time of year again, this coming into the end of this quarter, that there would be numbers coming out again. And so there's some uncertainty about some of the numbers that already came out, not looking so hot from some of the companies, and also worries that the US is not going anywhere with their stimulus negotiations before the election. So maybe after the presidential election in the US, they'll get something done on stimulus, but it's looking like not anytime this week. Janet, yes, this is being recorded, and for anyone else who wants to watch the recording, on our YouTube channel, you can catch all the recordings from our webinars back weeks and months. You can go back and look. Jiri, the AvaProtect, I don't think functions on the demo accounts. It's kind of grayed out. You've got to have a live account for that. And you don't really need to protect against losses on a demo, right? But maybe to practice proper techniques, you still want to. But the protection, I don't think that feature works on the demo. Okay, so there's a little bit of fear still in the markets. That's what we're looking at. Stimulus not passing yet in the US, and earnings numbers maybe creating some uncertainty. European stocks hit 1 month low. Fears about the virus. So, okay, so it seems a little gloomy today, right? A bit doomy and gloomy with the virus fears, with the spreading, and no stimulus yet in the US. Crude oil bounced up because yet another hurricane, another named storm threatening the oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico, which temporarily cuts the supply from that region. So we see oil spiking up today, so we understand why when we look at this headline. Yeah, you could open long and short. You could put AvaProtect on both. Good question. Yes, you can do those sorts of strategies. There's no rules against it. Absolutely, you could do that. That's actually an options trading strategy if you've ever done options trading, which we do have an options trading platform as well. But you're basically performing an options trade by doing that, a particular strategy where you're going in both directions with covered risk and kind of unlimited profit potential. So oil bouncing up because of a storm in the Gulf. We're just kind of going through the fundamental news before we get on the charts. Pfizer says no vaccine data before the election. Most likely it's about a week away. So what we're looking at here is the potential for a real storm of positive news, maybe a week away, right? Maybe stimulus comes in the US after the election, which is a week away, less than a week away, next Tuesday. So, which is 1 week, I guess. So, possible stimulus coming in the next week or two, but not yet, right? Possible vaccine updates that could be positive about vaccines coming in a week or so, but not yet. So we see, okay, there's some fear, some doom and gloom on the market, but the potential for breaking news in the next week or two that could really swing the markets. Coronavirus restrictions, SAP, one of the major announcements today, causing European stocks to slump. Same storyline. Now, how about this? Bank of England set to return to the stimulus pump. They're talking about a bond buying program in the UK. So in the longer term, that could boost stocks again, okay, in the UK market. So we're looking at maybe in the coming weeks, new stimulus in the US, maybe bond buying stimulus in the UK, probably some other stuff in the EU for helping the economy. So with all the doom and gloom that's happening now, boy, there are a lot of headlines that could go positive as well in the coming weeks. So you have to think about your longer term plan. Fundamentally, what you think's maybe going to happen after this pullback in the market has occurred yesterday and some more today. Maybe you expect a big bounce if the fundamental news turns. We do see some positive signs in the economy, okay? Not good with the Spanish unemployment rate out of the EU. That wasn't good at all. Those of you that are new to trading, this is an economic schedule. There's one I showed you from the web trader. This is the same idea, just another place to look. And so we see the forecast numbers and we see the actual numbers that came out today, and we knew the exact time they would come out. And so, you know, more negative than positive out of the EU on those numbers, more positive than negative out of the US. Core durable goods up double what was expected. Durable goods more than triple, almost 4 times the increase that was expected. So some positive numbers coming out of the US, more positive than negative on the economic announcement front. Okay, so as we get on the MT4, and you obviously could be trading on your web trader, on your AvaTrade Go as well. And so, yeah, Amir, I'd say anything that disrupts supply, whether it's a tornado or anything, certainly can have a temporary spike on prices because of that. If supply chain is seen as disrupted for any period of time, I think with the oil rigs, it's viewed as more of an effect with these hurricanes because it takes a while to kind of shut them down, get people off the rigs and into safety, then to get them turned back on and get people back on the rigs. It's somewhat time consuming. So these hurricanes aren't just the day that it passes through. It doesn't just disrupt for that 1 or 2 days. I think it's a weeks-long process of delay in production out of those oil wells when those hurricanes go through. Okay, so looking at crude oil, if we go to 5-minute candles, we see crude oil jumped. If you saw the fundamental news earlier today, which that article I showed you was available hours and hours ago, you could have been in on oil's rise and you would have understood why. Okay, that's the power of fundamental trading. Is you could have saw, okay, hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, and if you pay attention, that's a general thing that happens when there are large storms in the Gulf of Mexico and they start talking about shutting down the oil platforms out there. You tend to see oil price spike up. So you could have already known that this morning, seeing that storm was brewing and occurring. So then you say, okay, where's my first resistance level? And it's here where I drew this line. Okay. And so if that's the resistance, you could have had a pending buy stop ready to go at this price level up here, just above the resistance. Once it broke through this resistance level here, popped up, boom, the buy stop would have bought for you automatically, and it stayed above that as support now, and up it went. Okay, easy profit if you're following the fundamental news. Okay, Natalia, you can trade West Texas Intermediate, which is listed just as crude on our platform, or you can trade Brent crude. They both react in very similar fashion. They have different prices, but same general movements typically. Okay, because the global oil, the oil market is so global, it doesn't matter that it's only affecting the US crude area. It still affects the prices of Brent crude, even though they're pulled out of the ocean in a different region. Okay, so we see fundamental reason why oil went up. Pending orders here, buy stop. How do I know what pending order I should use? If I was planning a buy stop here because I paid attention to the fundamental news this morning maybe, and I saw, wow, or maybe you were in the web trader and you clicked on that information buzz section and saw, wow, there's something going on with crude oil because it had the biggest bubble on the web trader, and you tap it and you see, wow, okay, storm brewing, oil prices might rise. Boom, it clues you in, you go and you say, okay, I'll find the first resistance level and put my buy stop above it. And if it breaks the resistance, I'm in on a buy, right? Waiting for a confirmation of an uptrend by breaking the resistance. Boom, it happened. You'd have been in here and in really nice profit. Now the question is, what kind of pending order is that? If I was back in time wanting to set my pending order here to buy on this breakthrough, that's a buy stop pending order, right? I have to switch to pending order, and then I have to go to buy stop. You might have noticed something on the web trader. okay? If I go to the web trader, do I have to know that it's a buy stop? Let me show you. If I go and I was looking for, let me just do my quick search, crude, there's my crude oil, okay? And once I have crude oil, oops, I clicked a little fast. Once I have my crude oil here, now let's say I have Brent crude and I buy or sell on it. You know, if I'm saying I want to buy from a certain price, like I'm showing you earlier today, you might have wanted to do as a strategy, then you had to know it's a buy stop and not a buy limit, that a buy stop buys from a higher price than the current price, etc. For those of you that are new to this, you don't have to know that, right? Go here. You say, okay, execute when price hits. If I wanted to buy and I said, okay, I don't want to buy now, I want to buy when the price hits, that's it. You type your price. When the price hits, whatever price you want to put, you're saying buy when the price hits. I never had to know that that's called a buy stop, right? So the web trader in the AvaTrade Go app make it so as you're doing your technical analysis and you're trading based on fundamental news and you say, okay, I'm not ready to buy yet, but if it breaks this resistance with that news about the storm in the Gulf of Mexico, now that I know the fundamental direction I prefer to trade, then okay, let me prepare a buy stop above the resistance level. Okay, I'm programming it to buy from a higher price. All I have to do is put the price I want it to buy from and click buy. Okay, that's a pending order. It won't buy yet. It'll buy when it hits the price that you programmed. You didn't have to know, like in the MT4, where you have to say, okay, I have to know that this is a buy stop to program it at a higher price, at the at price, rather than a buy limit. Buy limit buys from a lower price. So on the MT4, it's more technical. You have to know a little bit more how to program it. On the web trader and the AvaTrade Go app, you just say buy from this price, and you don't have to tell it whether it's a buy stop or a buy limit. Okay, so it simplifies things. But either way, the MT4 platform also would work to do your pending order. We could have said buy stop, which when we prepared it, we could have programmed if the price was still down here and you saw the story about the Gulf of Mexico, you said, okay, if it breaks this resistance up here, I'll buy. It broke, the buy stop would have kicked in. Okay, very simple strategy, breakthrough strategy with pending order. Okay. Yeah, Conroy, you'd need to know, okay, where's my resistance level? And for those of you that are new, very simple process. You look at where did the price hit and then drop, right? It hit here and dropped. It got near here and dropped. So as it gets near this price level, that's where there was resistance. It kept getting near that price and dropping, getting near that price and dropping, getting near that price and dropping. So if it breaks through all of that mess, all of that cloud of resistance, breaks above that price level, then you know, wow, there must have been positive news for oil price, or negative, depending how you look at it. You know, if you're filling your gas tank up, it's certainly not positive news that oil went up. If you're buying on oil, then it's positive news that it went up. In any event, if it breaks through this cloud of resistance here where it had trouble breaking, then something fundamentally must have changed. And again, that's where you can prepare for the unknown. Even if the story about the storm in the Gulf of Mexico didn't break, if you didn't know that that story was there, you still could put a buy stop above the resistance, knowing that if it does break the resistance, then there must have been a big fundamental news story that hit that caused it to break through. And many times you can profit just like that by putting what I call trip lines in the market based on fundamental news that hasn't even happened yet, just waiting for a headline to break that might move oil. Okay, very simple strategies. So now we look, and we have to go to the larger candles now to see, why did oil drop when it hit here? Why did it go up so easily and it hit this price and then dropped? So let's go on a 1 hour candles, and then we see it, right? Very easy to see. Here's the old support level right here. Okay, this was the old support, up, support, up. It hit here, bounced, and then once it broke, it plunged. And that's what you get a lot of times when the fundamental news causes a support level to break, like it did here. It many times causes a what we call a breakthrough candle, a plunge. Okay, it was something in the market kept the price up, kept the price up, kept the price up. Whatever fundamental news hit, it plunged when it broke the support. So a pending order just below this support level, back before it broke the support, when you saw this support form, you could have said, okay, it's going to take big news to break this support. And if it breaks, it might likely plunge further. So you put a sell stop pending order down here and let it go. And sure enough, it broke. Your sell stop triggers and you're way in the money with the plunge. Now we're in the same spot on the way up, aren't we? Let me get rid of some of these lines. On the way up, we reached a resistance level again. So if you were buying earlier today on the fundamental news and the breakthrough movement that occurred with oil, and you bought on it and it climbed, where would you take profit, right? Where would you take profit? And so you see where it stopped climbing. You look at the red candle. It was green, 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 red. Why did it start dropping here? And was it predictable? Yes, it was predictable. Why did it drop there? That's the first resistance level, the old support level right here that broke. In order to break this price level and get below it, it took really big news, a large amount of momentum. You can see it. So in order to get above this price level, it likely then will take just as much positive momentum. Okay? So if it took a huge breakthrough candle to get below this price, then to get above this price, it might take another large breakthrough candle. Okay? So you are not too late to trade on oil if you didn't trade on it earlier. If you didn't catch that breakthrough move, if you weren't paying attention to the fundamental news about the storm in the Gulf of Mexico, it's okay. One good thing about the markets is it keeps moving, right? So what kind of pending order, again, could we put up here? Resistance level is here, right? If it breaks that resistance and hits this price level, again, another buy stop pending order would get you in if it breaks the resistance. In the meantime, you could sell off the resistance because it did not break it, right? So we can look and say, okay, 5-minute candles. Here's the resistance level. It's respecting the resistance. There is doom and gloom about the pandemic getting worse in different areas around the world. There's stress and doom and gloom about, the U.S. stimulus package not passing. So there are reasons for oil after this initial spike. There's reasons why oil might still be a bit bearish, fundamentally speaking. So there's no reason why you can't sell on oil, right? There's no reason why you couldn't sell on market price on oil, right? Put your stop loss above this resistance level up here that we saw, right? We go to 4-hour candles or 1-hour candles and we say, okay, here's that resistance level. If I put my stop loss above that, 40 would be above that level, okay? So I could say if I'm selling on crude oil, I could put my stop loss at 40 because that's above the current resistance level. And I could put my take profit back down here above this first support level. So it'd be around 39.2, something like that, give or take a little bit. Okay, so that's a quick little market move where I'm risking about the same amount as my potential profit, banking on a pullback because overall the news is kind of negative today, and maybe trying to take advantage of this high point that this reached. Now, obviously, a better entry point would have been to have a pending order up at this resistance level right here, right? This would have been the spot to have a pending order, a sell limit, pending order to sell as it got right up to this resistance level. But, you're not always perfect with trading, right? And so if you believe the fundamental news now could drive oil back down, it's worth taking a shot if you believe in it. At the same time, that doesn't preclude me from putting my buy stop pending order up here at 40 also, because if it breaks this resistance, hits the stop loss on my sell position, then by all means, then I probably want my buy stop to kick in, because that would mean, wow, there was a lot of momentum to break above that resistance level. So then I could also have my buy stop pending order ready to go up here, with my stop loss then back down at 39 and my take profit up at the next resistance level, maybe up at 41, with an equal risk reward potential, $1 up, $1 down. This would be where I would buy and get out of my sell. So if I'm closing my sell because it breaks the resistance and hits my stop loss, then for the same reason I would buy. If I'm closing my sell, that means that's because I think it'll keep climbing. So then why not buy at that point? So, but that's a confirmatory breakthrough before you buy when you're using a buy stop. Buy stop is waiting for the momentum before it gets in. In the meantime, we're taking advantage of a high entry point on oil during a pandemic, meaning we think maybe that's opportunistic to sell on oil now after the overreaction of the spike maybe today in the price. All right. Sure, let's take a look at gold and natural gas. I've seen those requested. So let's have a look. With the markets kind of dropping today, it makes sense that gold would probably spike up, right? Fundamentally speaking, gold is a safe haven that tends to strengthen when there's some fear in the market. And so, not surprisingly, we look back at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Gold has been climbing for 8 hours. Okay, so Amir and others who were asking for gold, I think it's probably clear fundamentally today it made sense to buy on gold, right? Because there's been a bit of fear on the markets. The stocks, the indices were dropping today. Very easy decision to buy on gold fundamentally. Technically speaking, look at the uptrend that's been going on all day. Okay, so if you're doing a technical look, you could have said, you know, this down here was an old support level, support up, support up, support up. It hits this price, bounces up, hits the price, bounces up. All through here, this price level was important and it went up from there. Okay, so once it broke back above that price level today, now that should become support, according to support and resistance theory. So the last time it broke above that price, it was a support level. So again, today, once it broke above that price level, look exactly at that mark, it bounced. It became support. And we could see that technically speaking. So earlier today, and we're talking a lot earlier today, morning time, okay, 10:30 a.m. platform time, once it broke above there, that was a technical reason to buy. Okay, it broke back above that old support level right there, right where I'm drawing the channel, and it didn't stop all day. So that was a nice spot to buy from, technically speaking, when it broke above that price level. And then when you looked at the headlines, it said, ooh, no stimulus in the US yet, lots of fear on the markets. So there went gold, up about $10 more per ounce. Once it broke above this price level here, it went up another $10 per ounce. You know, a one lot position, that's $1,000 profit on one easy technical move that was backed by the fundamental news. Okay, you see the power of looking for technical breakthroughs. When I say breakthrough, it broke above this resistance level, which was an old support level. Once it broke above that, it became support. So there's your technical entry point to buy. And backed by fundamental news, fear on the markets, that drove the price of gold straight up. Okay. A little more specific on your question. Chidi. The last name's easier to pronounce than the first. I apologize. Chidi, I'm not sure. How does what work specifically? What we're talking about right now is combining fundamental news and technical news together to get powerful movements like we see right here. Okay. The fundamental news was fear on the markets, no stimulus in the US, fear in the European markets on about virus outbreak specifically. A lot of doom and gloom in those headlines we looked at, and those were there all day, even this morning. So once you saw gold break through this resistance level and that became support with this bounce, that was a clue to buy on gold, and there it went up. Okay, Amir, good question. What's the effect? The question is, because I don't think you guys can see each other's questions, the question is, what effects will a Biden presidency or a Trump presidency maybe have on the markets? Okay, and you know, we just don't know for sure who's going to win the election or what the exact effect will be. But what we can more assuredly know is that there will be really large movements around the election, really big breakthroughs, really big bounces. And so everything we're going over right now, you can use the strategies we're covering to trade right in through the elections, knowing that, hey, I don't have to know whether or not if Biden wins, the markets will go up or will they go down. I don't have to know if Trump wins, will they go up or will they go down. You don't have to guess the market to be successful. Just be prepared. Put pending orders in places that make sense, where you know it takes momentum to break through certain price levels that you find on the chart. Put your pending orders, do your market moves if you catch it at a spot that you like. So I expect really big movements on gold, on oil, on the major indices, etc. right up from now through the election, in the US election. That's all the way through next Tuesday. And I would say that week after as well. The after effects, the ramifications of who they think wins, right? And I say who they think wins because there's so many mail-in ballots this time in the US. Over 60 million already mailed in. They're not allowed to start counting them until election day. They could be counting for weeks. Okay, so just because election day is next Tuesday in the US doesn't mean anyone will know who won for days and maybe weeks afterwards. And probably there will be court battles about who won. So prepare for a ton of volatility between now and even the end of the year surrounding the US election. So huge movements, huge breakthroughs. And we see gold pushing back down a bit off the resistance, okay? And we could say, why is there resistance? We look at the 1 hour candles and we say, look, it was predictable. Just like oil, look how predictable this reversal point was, okay? It hit and dropped. Look right on cue, right on this resistance where you see resistance, resistance, it comes up and here it comes down. Okay, so great technical movements and also movements throughout the day today that have been in the direction that you expect based on the fundamental news. Chidi and Tabo, and Gib, the tools that I'm using, okay, for support and resistance, I'm using manually drawn lines. You're asking, are there tools that can help you find the support and resistance levels for you? And the answer is yes, there are tools. And so let me get rid of the lines I drew, okay, real quick. So I'll go to the objects list, I'll delete these lines, and we'll finish on this because that's a really good question. You don't have to do all of your technical analysis manually, okay? Those of you that are new to things, you might have trouble finding price levels. And so, first of all, the web trader was giving you images of price levels. When I was showing you the Trading Central tools in the web trader, they were showing you price levels and lines, just like I'm showing you, already mapped out for you. Also, you can use a tool like this. You see up here, it says draw Fibonacci retracement. Click on that, and now watch. I'm dragging this tool. You see the red line going across? I drag it across the prices I want to include, and they can find price levels for me. As I say, okay, I want to include down to maybe this price level here. So I saw at the bottom, this was the low point I wanted to include, and I started at the top. Maybe I want to adjust this and say, and if I double click on the red line, now I can adjust. And if I say, okay, this is the high point I want, those are Fibonacci levels. They act like support and resistance. That's an indicator doing it for you, okay? And many people trade off these price levels, okay? So here's a resistance level up here based off this high point. Here's the next level. And look, it lines up with what we would do manually. Look, resistance, 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 down. Breakthrough becomes support, 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 support. Breakthrough candle becomes resistance and down. So these price levels using the Fibonacci tool also give you an idea of support resistance levels. So this is an example of an indicator that can help you find those price levels. And you know, there are lots of indicators like that one and other ones that can assist you with your trading, especially if you're new to things and you don't do them manually. Okay, and keep in mind you have the full support of an account manager as well. Those of you that don't have a live account yet, you're missing out on the support you can get from someone like me, only assigned to you one-on-one. Okay, there are lots of tools in the web trader as well, Philip. Good question. How do you find them? And by the way, our crude oil is moving into profit, which is nice. And those of you that are scalpers, you might have said, oh, I'm already taking my profit. Okay, there's the power of technical and fundamental news combined. Now, if we go to the web trader, you see down here, let me expand the chart. Okay, and I can zoom in or zoom out, you see. I can make my view whatever I want to see. I'm just using my mouse to roll in and out, and I can see the price level here, right? Here's the old resistance, resistance, then it became support and support. That same price level, 41.45. Look at that line straight across. Okay, you can see it. Now, they're called studies on this platform instead of indicators, studies. So I click on the studies, I say, okay, what am I searching for? Okay, I can search for stochastic. There's 3 different types: fast, full, slow. Obviously, you wouldn't be searching for stochastic indicator unless you knew something about it, right? I can show you how to do trailing stop. Yes, one moment. So if I want that study, I double click, there it is. I click save. Anything I put here and click save, then it's on my chart. So here it is down here. Here's the stochastic indicator. Very simple tool, by the way, the stochastic indicator. When it's above this line and then drops back down, that tends to be where the price drops. And you see, then it dropped for the next 5 candles. When it drops below the line here, then it's oversold according to the indicator. And when it breaks back above the line, that's the signal to buy. And look, then it climbed, 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 climbed. So you see the power of this tool combined with the candlesticks to predict which way you think the movement will go. I really like the stochastic indicator. Okay, when it's overbought above the blue line and then it goes back down into the between zone, that's a signal to sell. And look, it kept dropping afterwards. Okay, goes below and comes back above this lower line, that's a signal to buy, and up it went. Okay, it's very similar to the RSI, yes, except the RSI doesn't have the crossover lines. You see the 2 lines? There's a slow and a fast line. When the line crosses, like it crossed here, and then re-enters below, that cross in slow and fast line triggers the signal. Okay, it's very nice. There's a lot of technical tools you could find in these studies that you can add. Okay, good question. Let me demonstrate I'm just going to open any trade. Don't read into this. I'm buying on natural gas. I didn't even look at why I'm buying right now. So if this trade was running, and let's say it was in a profit level that I liked, okay, then I right click, I go to trailing stop. I can pick the number of points I want back my trailing stop to be, or custom. Once I enact the trailing stop, the stop loss then follows with your movement. The movement could keep going in the proper direction forever. If it ever comes back the distance of the trailing stop is following it. So it follows the high water mark. If it ever goes back that distance that you program the trailing stop to be, boom, trade closes, preserving the rest of the profit. Okay, so That's how you enact the trailing stop right here. Okay, and you can see the check mark, so that means it's active. Okay, it's active. The thing with the trailing stop, make sure if you enact a trailing stop that you don't turn off the system, because it's only client side. If you lose internet connection or log out, your trailing stop is gone. It's not on our side. It's on your side, on your PC, on the MT4 platform. So that's one caveat about the trailing stop. Make sure you keep your connection while that's running. And you might keep a backup if you're worried about losing your connection and that your trailing stop will disappear. Keep your regular stop loss programmed as well as a backup, maybe, to protect you at a second level. Okay. All right, everybody, we've been going for about an hour. I think we could probably keep answering questions for another hour, but at some point we've got to stop. Thank you all for your very good questions, for your participation. It really helps. Those of you that don't have live accounts opened yet, please talk to your account managers. Get yourself signed up so you can get the full support and the full tools. I think it'll be very helpful for you to actually develop your trading system in the right way. Okay. All right, everybody. Good luck with your trading. I think you'll find a lot of good entry points still today and good spots to place those pending orders. Okay. Conroy, if you don't know who your account manager is, just contact support or online chat and ask them to assign you one if you don't have one yet. Okay. All right, everybody. Bye for now. Good luck with your trading.